Wellness Rhythm Show. Find your rhythm. Live your wellness.
Y'all, let me tell you something that happened to me about 6 months ago. I was exhausted. I was bloated. I couldn't lose weight no matter what I tried. And my doctor basically shrugged and said, "You're fine." And then I started looking into liver health, and honestly, my jaw dropped.
Right. Here's what I've learned on this one. Most people think of the liver as just a filter for alcohol, which is a bit like saying a Formula One car is just for turning left. The liver performs over 500 distinct metabolic functions. 500.
500? I didn't know that. I thought it just dealt with my Friday night glass of wine and called it a day.
Not quite. And today we are getting into why your liver might be quietly running the show behind your energy, your weight, your hormones, and your long-term disease risk, in ways that most people have genuinely never considered.
So let's start from the beginning, because when I first heard the phrase metabolic detoxification, I immediately pictured some expensive green juice cleanse, and I almost tuned out entirely.
Which is exactly the right instinct, because those cleanses are largely nonsense. Here's the thing though, the word detox has been so badly hijacked by the wellness industry that people forget there is a real, continuous, biological process happening in your liver every single minute.
So define it for us. What is metabolic detoxification actually?
Right. Your liver runs what researchers describe as a two-phase detoxification process. Phase 1 uses enzymes primarily from the cytochrome P450 family to chemically transform toxins including medications, hormones, environmental pollutants, and metabolic waste. Phase 2 then attaches molecules to those transformed compounds so the body can safely excrete them.
And if that process isn't running smoothly, things get backed up.
Exactly. Dr. Mark Hyman, who has written extensively on functional medicine and metabolic health, describes a sluggish liver as a kind of traffic jam. Toxins that should be moving out end up recirculating, and that has downstream effects on almost everything.
Okay, so let's talk about those downstream effects, because this is where it got personal for me. I was carrying about 12 extra pounds that I could not shift, and my nutritionist mentioned that the liver is responsible for metabolizing fat. That was news to me.
It's genuinely underappreciated. The liver produces bile, which is essential for fat digestion. It also regulates blood sugar by storing and releasing glucose, and critically, it processes estrogen and other hormones. So when liver function is compromised, you can get hormonal imbalances, poor blood sugar regulation, and impaired fat metabolism all at once.
Which could explain fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, the whole cocktail of I don't know what's wrong with me symptoms.
The 2023 Global Burden of Disease data estimated that liver-related conditions affect over 1 billion people worldwide. And non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD, which is the one most relevant to our audience, is now considered the most common liver disorder in developed countries. It affects roughly 1 in 4 adults globally.
1 in 4, and most of them have no idea.
That's the thing. NAFLD is largely silent in its early stages, no dramatic symptoms, which is why researchers at the American Liver Foundation have been calling it a silent epidemic for the better part of a decade.
And here's where I want to push back a little, David, because I think there's a real risk here of people hearing this and spiraling into anxiety. Like, is my liver damaged? Should I be panicking?
That's a fair challenge, and I'll answer it directly. For most listeners without an existing diagnosis, we are talking about optimization, not treatment. We are not diagnosing anything here. What the research shows is that lifestyle factors have a substantial and measurable impact on liver function in healthy adults. That is genuinely good news.
Right, because it means there are things we can actually do. And that's what I love about this topic. So let's get into the practical side. What does the research say actually supports healthy liver function?
Let's dig deeper into the research here. The most robustly supported intervention is dietary. A 2022 meta-analysis published in the journal Nutrients found that Mediterranean-style dietary patterns were consistently associated with reduced liver fat and improved liver enzyme markers. The key components being olive oil, fatty fish, legumes, vegetables, and a reduction in ultra-processed foods and added sugar.
And that last one, the ultra-processed food piece, I feel like people don't connect that to liver health. They think it's just a heart thing.
Fructose specifically is one of the primary drivers of NAFLD. Dr. Robert Lustig at the University of California, San Francisco has published extensively on this. Unlike glucose, fructose is almost exclusively metabolized by the liver, and high consumption, particularly from added sugars and high fructose corn syrup, directly promotes fat accumulation in liver cells.
So that afternoon soda or the healthy fruit juice might genuinely be working against your liver, not just your waistline.
Correct. And it's worth being precise here, because fruit in its whole form contains fiber that moderates fructose absorption. We're talking primarily about liquid fructose in processed beverages and packaged foods.
Good distinction. Okay, and if you're finding this useful, this is exactly the kind of thing we dig into every week on the Wellness Rhythm Show. So please do us a favor and hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep bringing you episodes like this one.
Brilliant point. And beyond diet, physical activity is the other major lever. A 2021 review in the Journal of Hepatology found that moderate aerobic exercise, even without weight loss, reduced liver fat in participants with NAFLD. The researchers noted 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity as the threshold where consistent benefits appeared.
That's the same 150 minutes recommendation that comes up for cardiovascular health, which I find reassuring, honestly. Like, you don't have to build a whole new routine for your liver. The things that are generally good for you are good for your liver too.
Mostly, yes. Though here's the thing though, there are some specific nutritional factors worth highlighting. Choline, found in eggs and cruciferous vegetables, plays a direct role in liver fat transport. Research published by the National Institutes of Health has flagged choline deficiency as a contributor to fatty liver. Coffee is another interesting one.
Wait, coffee? I need to hear this immediately.
Multiple large observational studies, including a notable analysis from the European Association for the Study of the Liver, have found that regular coffee consumption, 2 to 3 cups per day, is associated with lower rates of liver fibrosis, cirrhosis, and liver cancer. The mechanism appears to involve compounds called cafestol and cawol, as well as chlorogenic acid, which have anti-inflammatory and anti-fibrotic properties.
So coffee is potentially a liver protective food. That is the wellness news I needed today. Y'all, please note, we are not saying drink more coffee, but this is a real signal in the research.
A genuine, well-replicated one. And I think it illustrates a broader point, which is that liver health is not about restriction and deprivation. It's about consistent, evidence-informed choices over time.
Now, I do want to address the elephant in the room, which is alcohol. Because a lot of our listeners are in that 40 to 65 age bracket where a glass of wine with dinner is just part of life. And I don't want to be preachy about it.
Right, and the research here is nuanced but clear on one point. The liver processes alcohol as a priority toxin. It essentially pauses other metabolic work to deal with it. Even moderate alcohol intake adds a genuine burden. The 2023 World Health Organization guidance stated, there is no safe level of alcohol from a purely cancer risk standpoint.
Which is a sobering thing to hear, honestly, no pun intended.
The practical takeaway is not necessarily zero, but awareness. Reducing frequency, ensuring alcohol-free days, and supporting the liver with the other lifestyle factors we've discussed. The whole picture matters.
And what about supplements? Because the second I started researching liver health, I got bombarded with ads for milk thistle and Nax and glutathione, and I genuinely couldn't tell what was real.
Right, here's what I've learned. Milk thistle, specifically its active compound selimarin, has the most accumulated research. A review in the journal Phytomedicine found evidence supporting its role in liver protection and regeneration, though most studies are in populations with existing liver disease. For healthy adults, the evidence is more limited. ENaC, N-acetylcysteine, supports glutathione production, which is a key antioxidant in phase 2 liver detox. There is some interesting research, but again, consult a qualified practitioner before starting anything.
So, supplements are not a substitute for the fundamentals. Diet, movement, managing alcohol, sleep.
Sleep is the one people consistently overlook. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine in 2020 found strong associations between poor sleep quality and increased liver fat. The liver does significant repair and metabolic clearing during sleep. It's not optional maintenance.
Okay, so if I had to distill everything we just covered into one thing a listener could do this week, I would say, look at your liquid sugar intake. Sodas, juice drinks, sweetened coffees. That is probably the single highest impact, lowest friction change for liver health that most people can make today.
And I'd add, don't overcomplicate it. The research points to the same fundamentals we keep coming back to. Whole foods, movement, sleep, reduced alcohol. Your liver doesn't need a cleanse. It needs consistency.
Y'all, thank you so much for spending this time with us. If this episode made you think differently about something, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It's genuinely how we keep this show going.
Right. Your liver has been quietly working for you every single day. Perhaps it's time to return the favor. Until next time.
This show is part of the VoxCrea.AI system. If you want a show like this for your organization without building it yourself,
Go to VoxCrea.AI and request a sample episode.